Okay, we're continuing the Hachaim Hakadosh. We're up to Parshat Tisa, Perek Lamed Beis, Pasuk Lamed Beis. So in the Parsha we're up to Klal Yisrael built an Egel, and Hashem got angry, and Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu, I'm going to wipe out Klal Yisrael and start all over with you. So Moshe Rabbeinu davens to Hashem, and he says to Hashem, please forgive Klal Yisrael, and if you're not going to, erase me from this Sefer. Rashi says, what does it mean, erase me from the Sefer? From the entire Torah. Correct? Why? Because if I wasn't able to daven for Klal Yisrael and have you forgive them, I'm not deserving to be in the Sefer Torah. That's Rashi's explanation of what Moshe's intention was. The Hachaim learns has a completely different understanding in what Moshe Rabbeinu intended. Pirush, says the Hachaim, again we're up to Perek Lamed Beis, Pasuk Lamed Beis. L'tzad shebe'emtzaus kol ma she'over ben Yisrael ben Hashem Baruch Hu, for whatever happened between Klal Yisrael and Hashem, Yiske hasarsur hanemon baschus hamagila b'kol mitzvah. Moshe Rabbeinu, who was the agent of Hashem, but obviously everything that Klal Yisrael did correctly, Moshe Rabbeinu gets a chelik in it because he was the one that led them. Ubefrat b'matan Torah. But if you think about it, who gave us the Torah in this world? Moshe Rabbeinu. So any Torah that anybody learns, Moshe Rabbeinu gets a chelik in that. Because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have had the Torah, correct? So therefore, Hachaim explains, and especially when it came to giving of the Torah, imagine how much reward Moshe Rabbeinu gets for that. Now all of these chusim are written in the Sefer Zikaron. We know that Rosh Hashanah, Hakadosh Baruch Hu has Sfarim in front of him, and in the Sfarim are the good deeds that a person does and the bad deed that a person does. And Moshe Rabbeinu, obviously, in the Sefer Zikaron, everything that he did and everything that he helped Klal Yisrael and all the mitzvahs that we do and all the Torah that we learn is under his file. Umeyata, Moshe Rabbeinu says in Lo Yisrael L'chatasam, Tzarech Limchos Misefer Kol Zechi Yosef Shel Moshe Shenichtavu. Moshe Rabbeinu was telling Hakadosh Baruch Hu that if you don't forgive Klal Yisrael, you know what's going to happen? All the mitzvahs that they do is nothing. You're basically saying that Klal Yisrael is not worthy. All the mitzvahs that they did is not worthy. And therefore, whatever chelik I have in it is not worthy. You're going to have to erase me. So the Hachaim is explaining an unbelievable thing. For example, imagine somebody learns with a boy. Learns with somebody and the guy becomes a gadol b'Torah. And then at the end of his life, chas v'shalom, he goes off completely. And he denies Hashem chas v'shalom, which is what Klal Yisrael did. So now, whatever mitzvahs he did is gone. So not only does he suffer, the Rebbe that taught him everything, that gave him the tools, that helped him out, that supported him, he also loses that. So that's what Moshe Rabbeinu is telling Hakadosh Baruch Hu. It's not Kaviyachol, I'm also going to lose out. You're going to have to erase me from the Sefer. Hashem said, no, it's not correct. Hashem says, no, you're not understanding. You're going to get a chelik in that reward. The guy who did the Aveira, he's out. We can't deny, Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu, that you brought the Sefer, you brought them the Torah, you brought them to Eretz Yisrael. So whatever whatever mitzvahs they did, you're going to get a chelik. That never gets erased. The schus that you get, Moshe Rabbeinu, the schus that the Rebbe got, the schus that the person who got for supporting somebody learning in Kailo, so the schus that a guy got for helping somebody get married, for someone to have children, to someone get a job, that schus never gets erased. No matter what the person that you helped out does, that's Lion Avoid. So the Hachaim understood that not like what Rashi said, that Moshe Rabbeinu told Hashem erased me from the Sefer Torah. No, Hashem said to Moshe Rabbeinu, now that you're going to take away all the schusim that Klal Yisrael have, I'm going to lose my schusim also. You have to erase me. And Hashem said, no, that's not correct. Oid yirtza pi divrayim. She'amru ki kol nishmas dar hamidbar v'yu amfei nishmas Moshe. We know that all the neshamas of the dar hamidbar actually came or were from the root neshama of Moshe Rabbeinu. Umiyata. And now Moshe Rabbeinu tells HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Kishlo yisach hatasom, if you don't remove their avera, it's going to have a pegam on me. Because since they're my children, Kaviyachol, their neshamas are an extension of my neshama. It's right. It's like the branches of a tree. If you don't save the branches, eventually it's going to affect the root. And if you don't save the branches, which means you don't forgive Klal Yisrael, the tumah that's generated is going to affect the root, which is Misad Moshe Rabbeinu. That's why he used the specific word mecheni. You'll have to erase me, eradicate me. No, that's not correct. Branches are not strong enough to hurt the main part of the tree. They only hurt themselves. This is what Hashem was telling Moshe Rabbeinu. Mi ashachota li. Who did an avera to me? Which means only the ones that did an avera. Who she'em chenu misefer. This is those that I will take away from the sefer, but not the neshama HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So from here we got a second explanation of what Moshe Rabbeinu meant to say when he told HaKadosh Baruch Hu, erase me from the sefer. Hashem, Moshe Rabbeinu is telling HaKadosh Baruch Hu a third explanation, that if you don't forgive Klal Yisrael for their avera, then Moshe Rabbeinu is not any better than them. Why? Because, Simcha, imagine you have a Talmud, correct? And the Talmud does something wrong. It's actually a reflection on you, not in a bad way, correct? So therefore Hashem says, if you don't, right? If you don't forgive Klal Yisrael, right? It's actually looks bad for me, right? And even though, right, which means that Moshe Rabbeinu also did many averos. Not only that, Hachaim says that Moshe Rabbeinu had a beautiful time at HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Moshe Rabbeinu was telling Hashem, I also did averos. Remember, you got upset at me, Moshe said to Hashem, when I complained, why are you being so difficult to Klal Yisrael? If you remember, the first time Moshe Rabbeinu went to Paroi, it was a disaster. Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu, go to Paroi, tell him to let Klal Yisrael go out. So Moshe Rabbeinu went. Paroi said, yeah, you guys are getting lazy. I'm going to double the workload, and I'm going to make it harder. So Moshe Rabbeinu complained to Hashem, how could you do this? You sent me to help them, you made it worse for them. Now Moshe Rabbeinu obviously meant it for the benefit of Klal Yisrael. But for Moshe Rabbeinu, he's spoken a little bit for Moshe Rabbeinu, and Hashem got upset. So Moshe Rabbeinu said, you see that I also did something wrong. And there are other times that we know that Hashem was not happy with what Moshe Rabbeinu did. Again, in his level. If you don't forgive their sin, you're not going to forgive my sin. You also have to forgive me. Yes, excuse me, you also have to erase me. Right? Hashem said to Moshe Rabbeinu, your avera is a lot different than what Klal Yisrael did. Hashem is prepared to forgive any avera except for the avera of Avodah Zarah. And I'll give you an explanation. The worst thing that a citizen can do, there's a lot of bad things, but the worst thing is what they could do is if they can create false currency. Because that undermines the entire trust in the currency, correct? When a person says, I don't believe Chas V'Shalom in Hashem, or I believe in Hashem, but I also believe in this, that means you don't believe in Hashem. And if you don't believe in Hashem, that means you don't believe in the whole Torah. It's not true. I keep Shabbos. It's not true. It doesn't work like that. If you don't believe in Hashem, that He is the only Hashem, and He gave us the Torah, you believe in something else, that there's another God, that means you don't believe in Hashem. And if you don't believe in Hashem, that means you don't believe in the entire Torah. And there's many similar ideas. And therefore Hashem said, you're Avera, you did not believe in me, you were upset, and you cared for Klal Yisrael. Or Chas V'Shalom, somebody by mistake violated Shabbos. Even if he did it on purpose. Most of the time, he's either angry or his Yetzer Hara overcame him. That doesn't mean that he doesn't believe in Hashem. When a person goes and he bows down to another Avodah Zarah, that basically means, I don't believe in you, I believe in this or I believe in that. That already is unforgivable. Pirush ki ishtana chetay mechet avodah zarah. Now, the only thing, by the way, is that can help a person is when you keep Shabbos. By keeping Shabbos, right, that is actually the bris, the covenant, the agreement that we made with Hashem. When a person keeps Shabbos, it's moichelim on all their averos. Why? Because a person who's keeping Shabbos is only for one reason. He believes that Hashem created the world in 6 days, and on the 7th day he rested. Otherwise, why are you keeping Shabbos? And obviously, we're not talking about a guy who sleeps till Shabbos, someone who keeps Shabbos, and he's careful. Okay, so that is something that can be mechaper on the Avodah and Avodah Zarah, because by keeping Shabbos, you're in effect showing that you believe that Hakadosh Baruch Hu created the world and he rested on the 7th day. And that's why that's one of the many reasons that Shabbos is holy, Shabbos is special. There's a bracha in Shabbos, because by keeping Shabbos, it's like you kept the whole Torah. You're having tzitzis. Why are you wearing tzitzis? Because tzitzis shows you believe in the 613 mitzvahs. The same thing, it's mechaper and avodah zarah. Shakafru belokei Yisrael v'chasru l'kus kifi mashen etztavu. The aver that Klal Yisrael did is they denied Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Ki ma'aseh emtzai. Now, there's another Hachaim, which hopefully we'll try to learn at the end of the week. When Klal Yisrael built the Egel, they weren't really building the Egel to replace Hashem chas v'shalom. They wanted that the Egel should be the middleman between them and Hashem. They thought Moshe Rabbeinu was the middleman. It's not true. There is no middleman. There's no such thing. It's us and Hashem. There are tzaddikim that lead us, that guide us, that teach us. But there's no middleman. There's no intermediary, right? There's no, favorite son. It doesn't work like that. And therefore, that's what Hakadosh Baruch Hu said. They did an Aveira to me. What was the Aveira to me? Which means they served the Avodah Zarah. Masha Enkin. Shar Chatam, other Aveiras, even though they're going against my commandment, it's not against me. Right? When a person speeds, doesn't mean he's violating, he doesn't agree with the law. He broke a law. Okay, he has to pay for it. He has to do tshuva. He pays a fine. But when somebody undermines the currency, undermines the system, that's a lot worse. Masha Enkin Shar Chatam. Other Hachaim could be forgiven, and even sometimes without punishment. But when a person denies HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and when he looks and he serves another God, that's unforgivable. And that's what Hashem was telling Moshe. There's a difference between what you did and what I did. Okay.